The Shizzle Dizzle dog. Science versus Scripture. Sounds like an epic battle about to unfold here, right? Bovine manure. Studying anything is science. Science, true science, is referring to the process a scientist goes through to arrive at correct conclusions about the world around them. Scripture tells us clearly that mankind is to subdue the rest of creation. It doesn't say to kill it, but to properly husband it. It's kind of hard to subdue a thing that isn't properly understood, and that is where the scientific process kicks in. Before moving on, I want to point out that God doesn't tell us to subdue mankind. That's His job. I bet you never thought you'd get a science lesson reading a spiritual book, but here it is. The scientific process. It begins with an observation that inspires a question. I observed that prayer was something others said worked. My question was, is that true? The next step of the scientific process is to formulate a way to test your question. I tried praying for the first time, and the result was I got a response. The next step of the process is forming a hypothesis. After I heard a spoken answer, I hypothesized that maybe it's true, so I set out to test my hypothesis that praying really works is actually true. And I responded back. The result was, okay, something intriguing was observed from the initial testing, but I still didn't have it that it actually works because, let's face it, I didn't get what I asked for, so technically it was a failed test result. But I did observe enough to keep testing my hypothesis. I prayed for patience, and all I have to say about that is I'm still waiting for the test results. I prayed for wisdom because I heard God likes giving that out. Looking back, it sure seems like a wise thing to ask for, so I'd say that test yielded a positive result. After my second divorce, I prayed that if God ever wanted me to be married again, that He would have to bring her to me, shove her in my face, smack me upside the head, and say, "She is my choice for you," very loud and clear. Well, He did that. So I'd call that a very positive and beautiful test result. I've tested my hypothesis enough times with positive results that now I've developed a theory that God always answers prayer with either a yes or a no or a not yet. So, to any real scientists out there willing to do real science honestly, I present to you my theory that states prayer really works. God hears all prayer and always answers in some way or fashion. Prayer for salvation always is answered with yes. The only testing process I found for this theory is actually praying. It's worthy to note that testing always seemed to produce positive results when I used faith as a catalyst. I would love your help testing my theory. I feel that with the community's focused effort, we can prove my theory to be scientific law. And I'm being serious.